Appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity. Our church actually started 21 days of prayer today, and there's about 88 of them at 6 o'clock in the morning praying, and you guys are at the top of the list. I'm glad to report that we prayed for every one of you by name but one. You'll have to figure out what the one was. No, I'm kidding. No, exactly. Everybody knows it's Rogers. Everybody knows. No, I'm kidding. Let me pray. Lord, thank you so much for these amazing men and women, and Lord, the leadership that you have bestowed on them. Lord, it is not by chance that they are in the position they are. They are loved, they are esteemed, and they are acknowledged. And they've been put in this place by amazing people that live in this amazing county. So, Lord, I give them a deep breath today. Help them to get through all of the things that are so important. But, Lord, help them to stay focused on the main thing. And, Lord, that's the fact that you have put them there. You have a calling on each and every one of their lives, and they are anointed, and they are making a difference. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of such a great community that has such wonderful leaders as these men and women. Bless them from everything that they do. Be with their families and the sacrifices that they make, and continue to move our county forward in the greatest place we know to live. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, and I'd like to make a few welcomes here to Dr. Cash and Susan Wilcutt from the Director of Schools. Sheriff Lawson and his team, we welcome you. Chamber of Commerce, Mike Griffin, Industrial Development Board, Doug Berry, and our speaker we'll let him go here in a few minutes. And at this time, we'll turn it to the mayor for the report from the county mayor, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon, everyone. I have several reports for you today. First, I'd like to call on Dr. Squires from Cleveland State. He's here to talk about our scholarships and to introduce the new president, Dr. White. Dr. Squires.
Thank you. My pleasure to be able to introduce Dr. White, but it's also our pleasure to be able to update the agreement that we have with the county. You know, 3.5 years ago, we got a phone call from Bill, came over with, met with Dr. Seymour, and we were glad to meet your needs of additional paramedics. And then a couple years later, we got another call, and we expanded it to include EMT to advanced EMT. And then this year, we got another call. So, Bill, you need to stop calling one of these days. I'm just kidding. We're glad to work with you. And so this year, we are proud to expand the opportunities to from 2 people to 4. So, we've had multiple people go through the program and graduate. They get some help from the county. They get some help from our foundation. It's a great partnership, and we're glad to expand it to meet your needs. So that's the first thing, and I think that's a formal agreement now, right, for this next year. And so that's the first thing. Second thing is, it's my pleasure to introduce our new president, Dr. Andy White. He has a very distinguished career, a long time in the Air Force. How many years was it in the Air Force? 20 years in the Air Force. I think you were a lieutenant colonel, correct? Yep. And so I get to salute him every day. And but he's a great guy. He's going to do a great job, and he's couldn't be more happy that he's here and going to lead the college forward. I think he's going to do great things. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Dr. White.
Mayor and commissioners, thank you very, very much for the opportunity to come and say hello. Thank you for your service to our community. It's a pleasure to be here in this community. It's an honor to be the president of Cleveland State Community College. It's a college that's been serving Southeast Tennessee for almost 60 years. And those colleges got started because local community leaders said we need this to serve our citizens. And so the local governments and the community leaders and business people have been behind that college from before it was even conceived. And you remain there today. We could not do our mission without you. Your investment in the Health and Science Center was, it couldn't have been achieved without that. The support you give us day to day, letting us know where the community is going, the investments that are being made, the workforce needs, the evolving workforce and education requirements, the partnership we have with your incredible school system here in the county, school systems, pardon me, in the county. We're blessed. And we have challenges being a community college that serves the smallest smallest population service area of any Tennessee college. So we're a rural state, and we are the most rural of the community colleges. So we have the smallest population that we're serving. So to get the enrollment levels we need and the revenues we need to serve students effectively and serve employers well, we've got to build strong partnerships. We have to work well with local school systems, with local technical colleges, with local transfer universities. And I am very thankful that we have the partnerships and the support that we do. We have incredible people at the college, incredible programs, and quite honestly, we're determined to be the best rural community college in the entire country in the not too distant future. And we can do it, but we can't do it without partnerships and support. So we'll be having dialogue and conversations to make sure our efforts are aligned as well as we can possibly make them. And again, I think the EMT partnership and growing that workforce and providing people the skills and the credentials to make a living wage and provide for their families in a field that provides health care for all of us is a great example, perfect example. So that's it. And again, my wife Joan and I are very grateful to be here, and our college is grateful for your support. That's all I've got for you, but if you've got any questions for me, I'm happy to take them.
I didn't realize you were military until Commissioner Winters pointed it out to me, and that raises your elevation quite a bit with me. I'm retired Army 20 years, so
Okay.
Thank you for your service, sir.
It was a pleasure to do it, sir. It was. Thank you. Thank you for yours as well.
Anyone else? Golden opportunity, Commissioner Gilbert.
I'd like to thank you for your service too.
Thank you. It was a privilege. Really.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. White.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate you being here. Dr. Squires, thank you for answering the third call with the scholarships, and we look forward to the next call next year. Next, I have Baylor Williamson is with us today to give a presentation, talk to you about Tennessee Achieves. Baylor?
Hi, yeah. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Baylor Williamson, and I'm going to adjust this. I'm the outreach manager for Tennessee Achieves. So for those of you who do not know what Tennessee Achieves is, we are the partnering organization for the Tennessee Promise Scholarship, which is the statewide free tuition scholarship for community colleges and technical schools across the state. And it's our mission, our belief is that every student, regardless of family income, zip code, and even academic preparedness, deserves the opportunity to receive a post-secondary education. So students can have parents that make $200,000 a year or $10,000 a year, or they can have a 4.0 valedictorian of their class or a 1.2 GPA. All of these students qualify for the Tennessee Promise Scholarship. So I'm here to give you an update on the students in your county specifically. So 88% of all Tennessee Achieves students represent a vulnerable population. So those numbers underneath that are y'all's county specific. So 24% of your students are non-white, and 48% of them are economically disadvantaged, and 48% of them also are academically at risk. So this means that they do not test college ready on the ACT or their state exams. And then 37% of the students are first generation students, which just means that none of their family has ever been to college before, that they're the first in their family to actually receive a post-secondary education. And so y'all's college going rate and across the state has taken a dip since COVID. So pre-COVID, y'all were sitting at 65% of all students graduating high school going straight into a post-secondary institution. And we are at 55% in 2023. So this is pretty typical. If you look across the state, it's about the same. I think we dropped 9 percentage points since COVID. And we've had an uptick as well, which we are really excited about. But we're trying to get those college enrollment numbers back up to what they were before the pandemic. So in Bradley County specifically, you've had 1,259 college graduates, and you can see the breakdown of that in that little chart below that. And so Tennessee Achieves has a lot of different programs to make sure that our students are successful in their efforts of going to college and succeeding and receiving their degree. So we have a program called Complete, where every student that's Pell eligible receives a coach from our staff. So we have 30 coaches across the state that work for Tennessee Achieves, and students in y'all's service area are assigned a coach. So y'all have 300 students that are currently being coached. This looks like the coach getting in contact with them by going to in-person meetings on campus, calling them, texting them, sending them emails. They build a close personal relationship to make sure that students are meeting their college milestones and have the resources that they need to be successful in college graduation. And so in conjunction with that, we also have something called Complete Grants. So this is $1,000 of emergency grant funding per semester that students can use for really anything that it creates a barrier to college success and graduation. So books and class fees are something that we pay a lot. Those can be quite expensive. I don't know if you remember from your days at a post-secondary institution, but books cost a lot of money. And it's often an unexpected expense for these students. We also give them gas cards, like the New Cleveland State President was saying. Tennessee is a rural state, so sometimes students can have to drive up to 30 miles per day just to get back and forth from their college. So we offer gas cards so students can get there a little bit easier and it's not as much of a financial barrier. We also offer grocery cards. A lot of our students are food insecure. We saw that a lot during COVID specifically. And you cannot be successful in receiving a college education if you're not properly have the proper nutrition, my bad. And so we have distributed a little under $100,000 of complete grant funding just here in Bradley County. So that rounds out to be about 782 individual grants for those 300 students that we serve in this county. We also have a community service requirement in conjunction with the Tennessee Promise Scholarship. So every semester that a student is enrolled, they have to submit 8 hours of community service. We want to make sure that our students are giving back to the community that gave them the opportunity to receive this post-secondary education. And so in Bradley County, students have submitted a little bit under 100,000 community service hours, and then 18,000 of those are job shadowing hours. So job shadowing counts as community service for our Tennessee Promise students. We want to make sure that students are going into their education well-informed about the career that they want to choose. So I like to say it's much better to know that you're scared of blood before you do 2 years of nursing school rather than after, and it's a great way to earn community service hours as well. And so we have all of these resources available to our students, but they're only available once they actually enroll in a post-secondary institution. And so we need mentors to help students get from high school to college. A lot of these students, like I said before, are first-generation college students, so their families are not necessarily equated with the college-going process. And so they need somebody in their corner helping to encourage them and connect them with the resources in order for them to be successful in this transition. It can be confusing, and all of my family has gone to college, and I was still confused on the process. So having somebody in their corner really, really does make a difference. And so right now we are recruiting mentors. We just started recruitment last week. And in Bradley County, we need 89 mentors to help students make this transition. It's a small time commitment. It's about 1 hour a month. And this can look however you want it to. A lot of times it's just sending text messages or a phone call to remind students of the deadlines and the milestones that you have to complete in order to get to college. And you work with about 2 to 3 students individually. There's only one in-person commitment sometime in the winter. You'll attend an in-person meeting with students in your county to learn about all of the Tennessee Promise requirements. So students are required to go. Mentors are highly encouraged as a part of their training. And that's where you can connect with your students and learn more about all of the requirements that they have to keep up with in order to get this scholarship. And so there's really just 3 roles that our mentors serve. The first one is encourager. Like I said, 18-year-olds really, really need some confidence. It's hard. They're confused when they're graduating high school, and they haven't built that confidence that we have as adults. And so they need someone in their corner encouraging them that they can and should take advantage of this opportunity, that it really is worth the payout. And then the second one is task manager. 18-year-olds aren't known to be the most responsible people on earth. I don't know if y'all have kids or grandkids, but they need somebody to remind them of all these deadlines. So that community service requirement that I was talking about before, a lot of students miss it because they just said they don't remember it. We do text them and email them, but they tend to not check those. So having someone giving them those reminders as well is really, really important. And then the final role is just a resource. So helping students get in connection with people at the colleges, people in their community that can help them figure out what they want to do and then how to enroll in college and get set up with all of those classes. So like we do not require our mentors to know anything about the higher education process. We do not expect you to be experts in this area. That's our responsibility, but we give you all of the resources that you need to know so that you can connect your students with those resources. So calling the admissions office when they don't know how to get enrolled in their classes, or encouraging them to call the admissions office, or helping them call the FAFSA hotline if they need some help completing that. We do not expect you to know how to do the FAFSA or how to enroll in college, but just connecting them with those resources. So if you are interested in being a mentor, if you know anyone, if you're part of any groups that would be interested in helping us in this efforts, I've given y'all all a little handout on the mentorship program. And if you scan that QR code or just go to our website, tnachieves.org/mentors, you can learn more there. Does anybody have any questions about the data or about mentorship in general?
Any questions for Baylor? If not, thank you. We appreciate you coming and making the presentation. You look at the chart, Bradley County falls short each year on mentors. We were at 46% last year of what's needed. So if you're at all interested, please, you got a bar there to scan if you're interested, or you can do it the other way with the other card. But many more mentors are needed for this program that seems to be doing well for our students. Thank you, Baylor. Next, Adam Lewis has a update on our broadband.
We were notified last week that the BEAD grant, Tennessee BEAD grant, BEAD stands for Broadband Equity Access and Deployment. One of the grants that we've been waiting for the state to move on was announced. Right now we don't have a time frame on a decision other than they've been good to tell us that letters of intent are due by October 9th. So these are, this will be a grant. Right now we've been told that VEC is applying this grant. All of the other providers are also eligible. I've not been told that they are applying. VEC has told us that they will be applying for areas of the county that have already been applied for and not awarded. So if you're interested in what those areas are, we're talking about everything in the 6th district. Just about almost half the 6th district is what will be applied for in this BEAD grant. So they're working on their letter of intent, which is due October 9. Beyond that date, we've not been told anything else right now.
Thank you, Adam. Anyone have a question? This is another one of those that's been long waiting for the state to come through with the next grant, but should be coming out this fall, and we do have money set aside for the match. The other thing I have for you, you have in front of you a resolution to amend and update Bradley County's MS4 stormwater management policy. Ron and Sarah are here if you have any questions, but I think the resolution is fairly self-explanatory. We first had to adopt a stormwater policy back in '04. We updated it, I believe, last in 2016 or somewhere around there, and it's time to do it again. If you are interested enough to want to read it, it is 96 pages, and we will or have emailed it. If we haven't, we will be emailing it to Lori if you want to read the entire policy, but it is very lengthy. But the bottom line is it's time to update it, so I'll need to ask you to put that on the agenda for next Monday.
Commissioner Rogers will place it on the agenda.
Unless someone has a question, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Now we'll go to report from committees and our districts. We'll start on our left with Commissioner Rogers, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have nothing to report today.
Commissioner Ledford, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One item, I just want to wish my grandson, turned 18 Saturday, the first of my grandchildren, and now I have 5 total, which the other 4 being girls. So I'm not used to raising girls, so they done got me captured for sure. But other than that, Mr. Chairman, that is all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Mason, please.
Thank you, Chairman Cry. I want to give a TDOT litter grant update for July 2024. We covered 430 county miles, 166 state miles, and 75 city miles for a total of 16,520 pounds of litter. We also took in recycled materials at 1,250 pounds. And I want to say a big thank you to Camille McGill and Thomas Bell. As I always say at these reports, these folks, they keep the wheel rolling at the sheriff's office, and they don't get enough recognized enough, but thanks to them. And also TDOT Supervisor Grady Patterson. I know the sheriff's probably excited about this. Over a span of probably 2 years, we've collected hundreds of tires off of, it's probably state and county roads, and they came in with about 3 dump trucks last Thursday and collected all those free of charge, took those and distributed those to be recycled. That's all I have, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Slater, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the Bradley County Board of Education met last week and voted to approve a budget amendment, which you have before you, to increase by 1% all salaries in the school district. You may recall their 2024-2025 budget includes a 2% increase based on revenue estimates available at budget time. Some of their final revenue numbers came in above projection, such as their sales tax, their property tax, and their TISA revenue. Their insurance also came in under budget for the year, freeing up some additional funds. The Board of Education voted unanimously, with 1 absent, to use this revenue to provide an additional 1% for all salaries. Mr. Chairman, I place a motion to approve this amendment on the August 19th, 2024 voting session agenda. That's all I have today.
Done. Commissioner Goins, please.
The 5th District's getting a makeover on Inman Street. If y'all have been down it. But that's all I have.
Commissioner Thompson, please.
Mr. Chairman, that's the report for this.
Commissioner Gilbert, please.
Mr. Chairman, we are having a juvenile committee meeting at noon on August the 30th here in the commission room. I'd like to give my condolence to the Herbert Lackey family. Went to the service, and his grandson-in-law spoke, and he was supposed to be speaking about Herbert Lackey, but it was a message for me. And I thought, wow. But I'd like to give my condolence to their family. He was one of my teachers, and he poured into me as much as he could. I didn't allow it a whole lot, but as much as he did, I appreciate everything he did do for me. Second, Public Works. I'd like to thank them. Today I was at a business. The owner of the business, the lady, she said, Mr. Gilbert said, I don't know what to do about this out front. There's gravel for my neighbors. The gravel is running in her parking lot. And when the customers would come off the road, they would slide and almost hit her fence post and stuff like that. So I called the city Public Works and was getting ready to pay her for the material and stuff that I was buying. And we turned around and looked, and she said, oh my Lord, they're cleaning it up. And I want to thank them for that. That meant the world to that lady. They done a super good job, and it was about 20 minutes, and they had every bit of that gravel and stuff took up. I just want to thank them for that. And that's all for me.
Thank you. Commissioner Winters, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd first of all like to thank the president of Cleveland State and his director, John Squires, for taking that call. Being a new administrator as he is, we took it, we knew it was a real challenge for him and to ask. But we do know that he stepped up strong for us, and we appreciate that. when you start a new venture, and two other presidents have done this before. It took, but he was immediate. I think John got to him quickly, and it was immediately a positive response. And thank you very much for that. We welcome you. I had the opportunity to sit on the EC committee, Economic Development, and he presented similar to what he presented today, and really showed us he did a great study on the past of Cleveland State, but also the future. A great view for that. So thank you for what you've done for us. I'm here in no small measure because of people that worked for me and spoke up for me when I ran for my first term. Herbert Lackey was one of those people. Herbert was a tremendous FFA sponsor and teacher in Bradley County. As he spent years doing that, felt the call to be a principal. And I happened to be on the school board when we were able to give him that position. And he was a great principal back at a school that he loved, where his kids went to school. And today his daughter has retired from that school as a former principal that followed him. Was attending his funeral, as Commissioner Gilbert has stated. This community is losing tremendous people that have made this community what it is. Herb Lackey was also on the hospital board, and was a key person to work well for health in this community, but also when it was time to move for sales to be done, he was a part of that group. Has a great family. Kim is retired, his daughter, and we owe a great debt to those that went before us, and Herbert was one of those. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Collins, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have nothing to report today.
Commissioner Blake.
All's well in the third. Thank you.
Commissioner Alford.
Yes, just a couple of items. One, I'd like to congratulate the school board the other night. They voted to spend $400,000 for some bleachers at Walker Valley, so I'm sure the visiting teams, a couple of games a year, that they'll enjoy having plenty of seats for them to sit in. I just hope that they take that reciprocal, and one of these days add some money to it, and maybe look at turfing the track at Bradley High School. Oh, we don't have a track at Bradley High School though yet, do we? That maybe they can put it on the back burner, and hopefully one of these days when we do get a track, that they'll reciprocate that $400,000 and maybe add a little more and turf the infield at the track. Other than that, District 2 is doing well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Hughes, please.
Just a couple items. One of them is that I was reported that, or told that we are starting to get broadband down Bancroft Road. So apparently it's moving that way fairly quickly. The other is about Herbert Lackey. I'd sorely be missed. He was an asset to the first district. I can't count the number of times that I've sat in his living room with he and his wife, Carol, and had conversations for hours on hours about everything. Not just one subject, but several. And it was just a privilege to be able to know him and call him a friend. He'll sorely be missed by me and my family. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Beatty, please.
I also went to school. Herbert Lackey had him a teacher, and he learned a lot when I was up there, and I've talked to him over the years several times. But he will really be missed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now move into the agenda items. Agenda item A, Trustees Annual Report. Commissioner Blake, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm sure you've had this date circled on your calendar, the day that the trustee comes and gives his annual report. But while he's making his way up to the microphone, I do want to sincerely congratulate him on being named the Trustee of the Year. So with that, Mr. Trustee,
as you get older, they just give you stuff.
It's all yours. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, sir. As everyone knows, the first work session in August, according to the Bradley County Investment Policy, I'm to give you a report on the current state of Bradley County finances. And I've told you in years past how well we're doing. This year is a little different. I'm going to tell you this year is the best year that I've seen for Bradley County financials. you guys and the mayor working together and all the departments, it is very, very strong. You'll see that in these numbers. You've done an excellent job. Y'all through the years have done an excellent job. But this year we have really got some good numbers to share. With me today is Christy Dasher. She is our accountant. She's been on board for about a year, and I think this is her first time being here. And some of you that come through the office, or if you need anything, she'll be there to help you. Also, Tim Aiken, who is the Chief Deputy Trustee in charge of operations, he's there. So both, just like everyone else in that office, we're glad to help you on any way we can. All right. Partial payment, we're going to talk about a couple of programs we have, and then we'll get into the finances. Partial payment programs, we started this back in 2010, and it's a program that continues to grow. We've kind of hit a plateau the last year or two. For some reason, something we can't stop, we've had a lot of people drop off because they passed away, and we've not had enough people come in, sign up to maintain the numbers we have, but we're still doing good. Still doing good. You can see in 22, 23, 21, 22, 23, 24, the numbers stayed pretty consistent. We have a lot of times people come in, and I know some of you commissioners have told me the same thing, that you've had people come up to you and ask you about taxes, how they can pay different. It's hard for them to come up one time a year, and this is the way that we attempt to help them. Total amount to be collected, total amount is $1.5 million over the 12-month plan. The rollover amount, this is important to the county mayor. Every year, there's a certain amount we roll over. According to our agreement with the comptroller's office, we start collecting in March of each year. And from March through September, we cannot touch that money. It has to be maintained in an account separate. We're still getting interest on it, but we can't touch it. But in October, when the tax bills go out, we're able to roll over a substantial amount of money to help with the county finances. Excuse me. The trustee's office provides a partial payment that wish to pay October through February, and partial payments are also accepted on delinquent taxes until the time they're transferred to the clerk and master's office. All partial payment programs have been approved by the Tennessee Comptroller's Office and the Bradley County Commission. We have two programs that helps the taxpayers. The tax freeze program is a state program that they give a portion of the payment back to the homeowners. Christy, that I introduced you to, she helps and assists in that program. And currently we have 1,052 parcels on the tax freeze. I mean, the tax relief. 1724 on tax relief, that's a state program. Tax freeze program is a county program that this commission put in place years ago. We have 1,052 parcels on that. That's a very important program because once they're signed up, their taxes are frozen at that amount as they move forward, unless they do a major renovation such as a home addition or something along that. Just normal maintenance, it doesn't affect it. So we have 1,052 parcels on the tax freeze and 1,724 on the tax relief. The state reimburses Bradley County taxpayers $271,899 this past year. Got a pie chart. You can see that the yellow is elderly. That's where 72% of the people on the tax relief is elderly. We got 313, looks like, on disabled veterans in green, disabled in white. So we have that program that covers a lot of people that really needs assistance. Okay, sales tax collection. This is a very important slide here. You can see this is site-based. You can see this is where it's the sales tax is collected. And if you look back a couple years, we go back 4 years prior to this year, you can see that each year the sales tax has increased in Bradley County and the city of Cleveland. Okay, on the next slide, how's it distributed? You can see that too, the increase of those sales tax, what it means to Bradley County schools, City of Cleveland, and City of Charleston. And you can just look back. Let's go back to 2021. Bradley County out of sales tax received $7.8 million, and 23-24 it's up to $9.5 million. Now each year or each month I look at sales tax report, and there's only been 1 month since 2006 that amount has not increased. And we're talking about inflation that's happened the last 3 years, and it's took a toll, I think, on some of the sales. But I think since the inflation has hit and the increase in cost, I believe that is one reason that we've not seen a drop. We've seen an increase. It's not necessarily increased sales, but increase in inflation, cost of products. Tax revenue, you can look at what we've collected in real, personal, and utilities billed since 2007. And you can see there's been an increase. There was a decrease last year that you guys are fully aware of, and with a factor, what happened there. But we don't have the total amount yet of what we're going to collect this year. But I'm thinking it's going to be more than the 50.5 we collected last year. 2023 in lieu of taxes, a total amount of $2,022,733. And you can see the companies that have in lieu of taxes. You guys, as a new company comes in or one expands, you're able to give tax breaks for a number of years. And this is what they pay before they go 100% on the tax. This is what they paid last year. So you can see that some of them pay a hefty amount. And this, I think last year we only had 6 or 7, wasn't it, Christy, last year? And this year it's expanded through 23. It's expanded with, I think, 2 or 3 more than what we had last year when I made the report. 23-24 fiscal year interest was the most interest received in a fiscal year since I took office in 2006. We had interest income to a little over $5.2 million. Last year, I always say when we talk about where we're at and how we're measured on the Fed fund rate, that I like to be somewhere between 100 and 105%. This year we're at 101. Next year we'll be above that because we know that rates are probably going to decrease, and we're locked into some high rates. So that Fed fund rate that we're getting, percent of the Fed fund rate we're going to be getting on a rolling average should increase. New banking contract that we have is good through 2027, and it pays 10 basis points above the federal fund rate on all Bradley County accounts. We have some departments that sometimes will have a special amount of money that they need to put away for a period of time. That's not going to be long term, and what we're able to do is lock them into the county's interest rate that we receive, which is 10 basis points above Fed fund rate, which is great. In 2006, the Bradley County Commission and I worked together to put an investment policy together. And one thing we wanted to do is get a true picture of how we're doing on our investments. We didn't want to set the bar low, knowing we're going to blow it out of the water. And what we did, we put it in Fed fund rate, and that's what we base what we do off of. And you can see here the change in the policy that we made over the last 18 years. We've increased what we would have made based on the old policy to the policy we put in place then by $8.6 million. Total amount of interest that we have collected from 2006 through June 2024 is right at $22 million. And we're very proud of that. We work on that just about every day. We'll take a look at our cash flow analysis, where we're at on our investments, what we can do different. We look at it very often and at least once a day. Investment committee, who has volunteered their services free through the years, is Buster Stewart and Gary McDonald. And they give Bradley County, through me, very wise advice, and we've been able to ride their knowledge. We're very thankful that they've done that. Excess fees returned to Bradley County. Most county departments collect fees that some turn over and some use. But since I've been in the trustee's office, we've turned in $14.2 million unused. Efficiency, we have implemented numerous programs to assist the taxpayers. Number of parcels to be collected have risen 46,591 in 2006 to this past year of 56,363, a 21% increase. 2015, we worked with Charleston to begin collecting their city taxes, and this year that agreement expired, and Charleston and Bradley County signed the new contract for 5 years. We signed that contract this past August, or July, I'm sorry. HCI funds, you can see how we've been doing on that, right at 5, 5.3, 5.2, and 4.96. Then we have the interfund loans at 4 and 4.5. One thing that I remember back a few years ago, we didn't know in the HCI fund whether we were going to have enough to pay the bond payment on the library. And you can see that through increased interest rates, and I'm not going to go deep in the grass on this, but we went very short term when we thought the rates were going to be going up, so we could take advantage when they did. But when they got to where we thought they were going to be, which was 5 or a little after, what we did, now we went long term on them. So everything we've got pretty much is at least 2 years, and most of it's 5% or larger. And so it may decrease a little over the next couple of years, but probably for the next 2 years, you're going to see hundreds of thousands of dollars be spent in HCI fund. And so I'm guessing the lowest you're going to see is probably going to be, just a guess, probably $450,000, $500,000 a year. So you're in good shape the next couple of years. You can see our long-term investments. I talked about having 5 or above, and there you can see most of those are 2-year investments. So that's where we're going to get the money. Electronic billing. One reason Mr. Hughes is here today, he handles this for the trustee's office, and we've been doing really well. We pushed this hard the last 2 or 3 years because we see the time coming where all the payments, or the greater majority of them, are going to be through electronic processing. And so we've worked that. We put it on our tax statements. We've put it on the radio and in the newspaper of how people could do electronic billing and also electronic payments. This year, we had an increase on our payments of 15.6% over last year. So it's increasing. One thing that we have tried to do in our electronic billing, back in 2020, we had a goal of collecting 40% of all tax payments electronically. This year, past year, we were at 38. Missed it just a little bit, but we're really doing well getting that message out and getting payments through electronic means. And I'd like to thank the commission. I'd like to thank the mayor for the assistance they give the trustee's office. I can't think of one thing that I've ever asked for that through a program that you guys have not agreed to allow me to do and allow me to work with the comptroller's office on. And it's benefited taxpayers of Bradley County through your actions. I appreciate that. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions? This is a rare opportunity. You better hit it.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Commissioner Blake.
Not so much a question, but there's 2 points there I think worth touching on. One, the workhouse. We had 3 interfund loan with the trustee's office over the years. In last budget, we paid off the workhouse, which allowed the trustee, and when we paid that off, it's kind of like going to a bank and paying off your car. It allowed him to reinvest that at a higher rate, which comes back into the HCI fund. So that was a good thing. hopefully for not too long, and the finance committee can see if we can work on the other two, which are the Spring Branch and ESG. Spring Branch is paid by the hotel motel tax, but so the ESG would be the next one. But it does benefit us directly and indirectly, if you imagine that, to pay off this interfund loan. The other thing is, he mentioned the HCI in the library. When that situation came up and the amount that we owed for that, we diverted over to debt services 151 for 2 years to pay that our portion of that. But this year, in our budget, and the mayor and I in the finance committee and fully the commission, when we voted on the budget, we brought it back to HCI. So in this budget, the 24-25, HCI will be making that payment back to. I think we only have 3 or 4 more years left on that. The bond I saw the other day was issued in 2007, so it was a 20-year. So it should be in 2027 that we're finished with that completely. I just want to touch on that as info as far as working with the trustee on that. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Anyone else?
One thing I will say about that is that's when the interest rates were 0.2%.
Oh, they were horrible.
When they got down, and we were worried about being able to make that payment. And I know you and I had the discussion. I said it's not a good idea to pay recurring cost out of the HCI fund. It's a good idea right now, but 5, 6, 7 years down the road, who knows? So I would caution you in the future about making recurring cost out of the HCI fund. But you're in good shape now. The other thing with one of the interfund loans, you did a great job paying that one off. The other one, the mayor and the commission has been wise paying extra each year on. So that's a good job doing that.
Commissioner Thompson, please.
Mike, we appreciate the job you do down there.
Thanks, sir.
Y'all, we've done a good job.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Thank you, Commissioner.
Next, we'll go to agenda item B, compliant technologies. Commissioner Louis Alford.
Chairman, thank you. We have a visitor today, Brad. Compliance technology. Technology to protect. I don't have my mic on, do I? Protect themselves and to de-escalate situations while they're out protecting us. I've asked, since Adam is the new EMS director, I've asked him to assist Mr. Simpson in this demonstration and the use of this equipment, because it's quite impressive. Some of us saw it not long ago, and they have some gloves too that he'll talk about in a few minutes. So if you could go ahead and give us a quick one, then we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you very much. Again, my name is Brad Simpson. I'm with Compliant Technologies. We are a 100% veteran-owned company out of Lexington, Kentucky. We deal with de-escalation electrical devices, as he said. Right now, I want to talk to you more specifically about our glove. Rated low output.
Hey, Adam.
Uses 2 opposing pads on the palm to cause an current through the skin phone. Once it's turned on, not able to. Can you hear me? Okay, so the glove uses two opposing pads on the palm of the hand, causes electrical interference with the skin, the peripheral nervous system. So the electrical current does not go past the skin. It will not cause heart attacks. It will not stop patients. Like that. It's safe. So when you're using it, you're trying to de-escalate the situation. The power of the glove is 380 volts, 0.000125 amps. No life-threatening injury. Good on retention. Nobody's going to try to be able to steal it from you. You're able to close that gap from your other weapons on your belt. So having a volunteer show. Any of the commissioners want to give it a shot?
Commissioner Thomas.
My heart's in good shape.
All right, well, I have a...
What about the chief deputy back there? Wouldn't he be?
I don't know, man.
Deputy for your assistance. So,
He's smiling, do it again.
An Oscar.
Battery itself, battery, chargeable. No part. Battery itself is we sell these devices. Yes. Right. We offer items. Talk to you about is brought a box. That anybody have any questions?
Commissioner Ledford, please.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask Chief Deputy, was that true reaction to that glove?
You want to find out?
No, I don't want to find out, but that's,
Go up. Mr. Ledford, go up there and
my heart
check.
can't take it.
No, he said it's safe for
Man, I work in the medical field way too long.
So we
For
do
that
have,
reaction, that's crazy.
we do have medical research and data backing up that is not going to cause any type of heart attacks or, pacemakers and stuff. This is a, highly researched device. It's not going. We have never been in a lawsuit, although we have been up for review
These devices have always been deemed a non-factor when it comes to
I
life.
just was wondering if he was faking or not.
So did you say it was safe for pacemakers, hearts, all that kind of stuff? Right. The glove only is skin deep. So once you're touching the skin, it's attacking the nerve bundle. Nerve bundles are reacting. It's only pain compliant. It's not NMI. It's not neuromuscular interference. It's strictly peripheral interference. So it's
Where does those nerves connect to? They connect to your brain.
they do, and
Absolutely.
your brain is telling your brain that it's painful. No different than when you get a bee sting. It's
Telling
not
my
going to attack
heart
your
it's
brain.
painful.
It's going to just tell your brain that.
I was just wondering. I was just sorry. I was just curious.
Commissioner Thompson, please.
Have you used that on the sheriff yet?
Anyone else?
Sheriff Lawson. Hey, Sheriff,
Hey, sir.
how do you feel about these gloves? Is this something that you're wanting in your department?
Yes, I think it's good as far as giving you an extra tool. I believe it's good in corrections as well. Because
Courtrooms?
I think he told you they have 4 items. I think they have even a shield for if you have to go in the cell, they touch the shield. It's the same way. There's several items out there, is that right? So I think it is good. I think it gives the officer an extra tool. I think I would have to look and make sure they're used right.
Yes, sir.
Make sure people understand that they are your tool, and I will hold people accountable for using them right. But imagine if you're an officer and pull on a situation, you want all those tools that you can possibly. And I think it comes down to money, what you can afford. I think you got to use it wisely. Commissioner Alford saw it and approached me, and we had seen them at the Sheriff's Association. They go there. And whatever we can afford, I would be blessed with, no doubt. And that's up to y'all because you run the finance.
Thank you.
Just one.
Yes.
What's the cost on those, the gloves? What price on?
All of our products are under $2,000. The gloves themselves are $1,595.
For a pair, for a pair.
For a pair, yeah. You get a left and a right. We offer anywhere between extra small and triple XL. That brings me to the point that it is a good way to have smaller officers deal with bigger individuals. You know, it's a good equalizer. So it does definitely level the playing field when it comes to that.
Anyone else with any questions? Yes, go ahead.
Just a couple of comments. I don't have any more questions, but he also, the demonstration I saw one time before I talked to Coach Lawson, Sheriff Lawson, also a guy was on the ground. You know, if you've seen TV shows where a guy gets on the ground, they put their arms up under where the deputy can't get their arms out to cuff them. Well, all this guy does is take his shirt and pull it and stick that hand on his back. The guy come up like he'd been stung 100 times with a bee. So he didn't have any trouble getting handcuffs on him. The other thing is the gloves, the small gloves, they're really protected against fentanyl. And that's a big thing in the sheriff's department nowadays. They use those gloves, and these would be very beneficial in that respect. So I've talked with the sheriff's department, John and them, and they think that if we could buy 20 pair of the gloves, it would be beneficial for their office. Or there would be enough for the sheriff's department to start with. And I think total cost was somewhere around $30,000 for the whole outfit. That's gloves and everything, if I remember right. That close,
so, yes,
Brad?
Yes.
Somewhere in that neighborhood. So what I'd like to do, we got AR money. It would fall under that category, ARC money. So we're not going to have to pay taxpayers' money on it. I would recommend, and I'd like to put it in the form of a proposal, that we purchase 20 pair of those gloves, and with both sets of gloves, the little gloves and the big gloves. And so the sheriff's department, I feel like it would be very beneficial to the department, because if any of y'all, and I know my dad was always in law enforcement, and I've seen him come home many a time beat up because he got in a fight with some drunk or something. So this would be a good way to control that situation in a lot of ways, I think.
I do have one more thing to add that I didn't bring out, is that these gloves, they are very good on TV. They're low optics. So whenever you're using the glove, it looks a lot better to use a glove than it does any other type of intermediate or higher weapon. So when you're going hands-on with the glove, it looks like they are, committing to you, putting them in control as opposed to backing up and using a handheld or, a taser to put them down. It looks very bad on camera, obviously, when you're shooting somebody with a taser. These gloves, you're not going to have that out there. You're going to see a low optic view of these gloves being used.
How many other law enforcement around, like in other places?
So right now Hamilton County has them. Wachi, we have over 25 counties in Tennessee alone. That many in Alabama. We have 80% of all the jails in Kentucky. Ultimately, we have over 400 agencies in 40 states and 9 countries that have these type of devices in them.
Commissioner Mason, please.
What's the guarantee on those, the life?
So we offer every product that we do is a 1-year warranty. Anything goes wrong with it, we'll replace it within that first year. When it comes down to the life of the device, the battery lasts for 2,000 charges. So if you're charging it once a month, that's a very long time, 2,000 months of use. When it comes to the fabric and all that kind of stuff, it's just the duration of any normal glove. I couldn't tell you what the shelf life of a cloth glove would be, but we can vouch for the battery that's going to last you a long time. So,
anyone else? Go ahead.
You said that the club was running 1,500 thereabouts.
Yes.
$1,600
Roughly $1,600 for a pair.
So it's a one-time fee. So you purchase the glove for $1,500, and that's it.
Yes, these gloves are a non-consumable. Once you buy the gloves, they're yours until until the battery dies. Yes. We do have other things for like basic certification classes in order to be trained up on the glove, and the data storage. Those are the only 2 reoccurring costs. However, they're very low. Every 2 years, it would be $1,100 to do all of the training and to do the data portal storage.
So how much? So you buy 20 gloves. Does that mean 20 individuals get trained, or it has more than 20 deputies?
Yes. No. We offer a basic certification class that is train the trainer.
Train the trainer. Okay.
It's a $700 class. I come to you and I will train anybody in that room for $700, and I will train them as trainers. So they can train other users inside the Bradford County Agency of Sheriff's Department, and they're certified for 2 full years.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
John, can you get with Sheriff had to leave? Can you get with your people and get something to send up to finance if you're interested? Would you? All right. Anyone else?
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers, please.
Do you have price breaks? I mean, if you buy 5 gloves, 10 gloves, 50 gloves, 100 gloves, like, do you have price breaks, or is it just all the way up? Because
we have it documented that over 100 gloves we give discounts, but it's a case by case. So I will definitely talk with my higher ups and discuss that with them as well.
Okay.
Anyone else? Commissioner Alford.
As I said earlier, I think I talked with John about that. They feel like 20 pair would be adequate for them to start with, and so that's where we're at on that. So I'd like to place that on the agenda for next week if we could, that we look into that and think about that, because I think 20, like I said, they've already decided 20 pair would be enough to start with. And that would cover most of their on-duty deputies during the time that they're on duty. And I think they're waterproof too, aren't they?
They're water resistant.
Water resistant,
as opposed
okay.
to completely saturation. Yeah. They're resisting against water for rainy days, shower extractions, things like that. But I wouldn't go swimming with them. Again, the nitrile gloves, those nitrile gloves can be worn on your hand with the glove. So if you're in a heavy rain or something like that, it will block that water from your hand, and you will not get feedback. So another good point for the nitro glove.
Mr. Chairman.
I see, I'm sorry.
I think we're kind of moving pretty quick. One of the questions, and this is going to be internal since we're not, I think it should come over to finance. Mayor, you sent us over I guess the bucket list, the famous bucket list. Pretty much all of the money, even the interest off of the principal, has been allocated, correct? So in essence, what I'm getting to is, if we go forward with this, we're going to have to decide who we're going to take 30,000, call it 31, I guess, away from somebody. Is that correct? I mean, we don't.
It would be more accurate to say there is some left. I don't remember how much, not a large amount, but I would guess that there's this much left, if you so choose.
Commissioner Mason, please.
Last question too. What about the storing information of it, the log time?
The data management portal? Yeah. The data management portal is yours. You can download it to whatever computer you want to use. There is no limit to how much data you can store. What you're paying for is access to the actual portal. We are at the stage where it's your storage in your computer that you can download at any time into a PDF for any type of evidence. We will eventually probably move up to cloud storage, maybe. That's not in the works just yet, but we're just offering you the storage to be able to have it on hard copy for whenever it's necessary to back up the use.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and place it on the agenda. However, it will have to go to the Finance Committee before any action is taken because of the available funds in ARP and whatever the sheriff has in his department, if he has any money. But we'll go ahead and do what Commissioner Alford wants and put it on the agenda, and then I'll transfer it over to Finance. Anyone else have any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
A couple of weeks ago, we were given this park report thing, I guess, and to my knowledge, it's never been voted on that we go with this. It was put into minutes only, which is non-official. So if we're going to be that picky about the ARC money, I'd like to bring this back out so that we can discuss it in a work session, because it's not an official document as of this point in time. So, and if we don't bring it out so we can vote on it as a commission, then it's not official. So I'd like to bring this back out of the minutes and put it on the agenda to talk about at a later date if we don't have any money in that ARC thing. And it's such a conflict of every time we do something that we can't do it because we don't have any money. But when you look at this sheet and you look at all the money that was spent for other items in the ARC money, I think this situation is about 100% more important than about 25 of these items that's on this sheet. So if we want to discuss that, I'd like to bring it back out of minutes and we'll discuss that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
We've already, Mr. Chairman, you gotta get your, we did, I don't know, voted on whatever, but we just amended money out of this because this was put into the minutes. Look at the amendments that are coming in your consent agenda. You got $200,000 for an ambulance that was not in the budget, but it's in here. So we've already taken actions on this ARC money. But we've amended, Commissioner Offer, we have taken money out of, we have used, we just amended in finance, and it's coming on the consent agenda, 200,000, I believe, 8,000, going by memory, I shouldn't do that. And some other things because of what the mayor's presented to the commission, and we did put it in a minute. So
we'll get it all ironed out when it goes to Finance
that's what
Committee.
I'm saying. I'm not against the gloves. I mean, it's got to be amended anyway.
Oh yeah, I'm just tired of people saying we don't have any money. When we talk about money, we got money running out our ears in some respect. We can spend $7-8 million down on our debt at the end of the year, but we can't find any money now. And just like Mr. Smith said earlier, I think taxes and everything, we're in good shape money-wise. So I don't know where all the money is, but, when we can't spend $30,000 for something that would keep our deputies safe, I have a real problem with that, Commissioners. Thank you.
We'll now move along to communication from the audience. I'll recognize and allow 5 minutes to anyone that wishes to speak. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak? There be no one like to speak. I will move to the announcements. Chamber coffee tomorrow at 8:30. Hope 4-1. That's where the location is, wherever, I don't know. Farmers on First, August the 18th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., First Street Square. East-West Connector, public meeting, August the 19th, 5 p.m., Old Woolen Mill. Juvenile Committee, August the 30th, I believe it's 12:30. And again, I'd like to thank the new president of Cleveland State for attending, and come back anytime, sir. We are adjourned.